First of all, thank you. Thank you for inviting me. Thank you for organizing this. But most of all, thank you for the work you're doing on the local level, which is incredible. Like I'm impressed. Like I had the chance to listen to a couple of your presentations. I'm extremely impressed how much you can change with an initiative that starts with one person and becomes a group of person, then becomes a bit bigger, and then you put some pressure and you really have an impact. Which I think this is like the kind of stories that we need to tell around, because we always say, nothing can change. And then, we have something like Florence to ban ads on fossil, which is huge. I mean, the impact of this is really big. And also it's an impact not against a small player, but it's an impact against one of the biggest, most powerful industry of our time. And see, we can do it. And it's super important because when we are talking about banning ads of fossil industry, we are not just, it's an initiative that's very, very unique. So ads are not just something that is on our screens and they stays. That ads are really deciding our consumer behavior, our culture, and what is normalized and what is not normalized. This is a fact. Like a lot of the things we don't even know that we need, they become a need because of ads. That's why they were born. That's like the basis of capitalist consumerism. So the ads are a key player of our society. I was thinking about this. Like I always said, like I don't get impacted by ads. I don't buy things because I saw it in the ads. And then I was at the supermarket and I saw all these products that were advertised, and I started to think I needed them. Why I didn't even think I would need. I didn't even think this was a need you could have. That's how impactful ads can be, and that's why we need to regulate them. So not everything can be advertised. And when we're talking about the fossil industry, I'm a bit concerned that this is still a possibility. What we are actually advertising, we are deciding, are we advertising the death of our people? Are we advertising the death of our planet? Are we advertising all the wars that are done because of fossil? Are we advertising the devastation of our territories? Because this is what the fossil industry is. So don't get me wrong, I'm not, I don't want to get into like, there's some politicians that are like, you're not pragmatic because you want to get out of fossil. I do know that tomorrow, the 18th of March, we're not going to get out of the fossil era, but that's what we're aiming. So if you are aiming at the phase out, it's ridiculous that you advertise the consumption of something that you know legislatively that you want to get out of because it's harmful. So if you don't have the advertising, that doesn't mean that people are not going to use them anymore, because of course most of our houses are still heated by gas, and most of our cars are still going to use fossil fuel and oil. So it's not like tomorrow if I ban the advertising, I won't use that anymore, because I know that we need a transition, needs to be fast, but it's not going to happen overnight, and this is not going to change my consumer behavior. But what I do by banning the advertise is that I make it clear the political direction I want to entail. So this is heading towards a phase out, because this product is harmful, and if you need to use it because you need to use it because there's no other option, or in that moment you cannot have another option in that specific moment, you shouldn't be pushed to use more. And that's what advertising is for. Advertising is not just to give you the options, but it's to push you to use more of a product. And if we are allowing that, we are productive towards our own objectives, our own goals that are made internationally, at European level and nationally. So it's completely dysfunctional what we're doing. And that's why when we're saying about banning fossil ads, it's just common sense. It's just going towards our objectives. And this has a double meaning, because one is how do you say, like this culture meaning, like when you say I don't want an ad, I'm changing the culture, but I'm also changing the normalization of something that shouldn't be normalized because it's only harmful. And again, if it's present in our energy mix, we need to get it out from our energy mix. And the fact that it's present, that shouldn't be normalized, that shouldn't be encouraged. And on this, I think it's kind of like from the Italian perspective, this is super strong. This cultural element of the banning ads, like most of our main events and initiatives, they are powered, and they are not powered. Sorry, that would be normal, but they are sponsored by ENI, which is one of the biggest fossil fuel industries, that only 1% of ENI investments is going into renewable, and 99 are still going on new investments, innovation and research is going into fossil. So ENI has no mean of doing the transition, and we're giving ENI the biggest platform ever in all Italian events, in all big initiatives. They are there. Like, it's huge. And as ENI, like for the Olympics, they were the main sponsors, and the whole city of Milan was full of ENI signs. And at the inauguration event in the square, they even had barrel of oil, because of course we are normalizing the fossil industry. That's what we're doing. We are saying this is fine. And then if I say that you can have a barrel of oil in an Olympics inauguration, then I'm saying that I don't really believe I want to do the phase out, and you shouldn't believe it either, because that is not important. It's not harmful. You can have it in your square. It's a nice thing. It's there. That is your main partner. That is someone that takes care of you, that pays you, pays the main events for you. That's the kind of the philosophical, like the symbolic element of the ads, banning ads. But then we also have an actual practical element, because I know that now we are looking like radical crazy people when we say we want to ban ads for something that is harmful. But that has been done for tobacco long time ago, and we all agree that that should have been done, which doesn't mean tobacco is out of our lives, but like the decrease of tobacco consumption after we stopped banning it, after we stopped advertising it and normalizing it, was huge. And it came from a very simple objective. If this is harmful for people's health, it should have been advertised in public spaces, because people shouldn't be thinking that this thing is good for their health or is not harmful. And fossil are extremely harmful for people's health, extremely, like what Andrea was saying about our cities, that comes from fossil, like all the deaths we have from fossil. And again, I would make the example of Milan, one of the worst cities of for the quality of air, and that is mostly related, not only, but mostly related to using fossil in our energy system. So we are saying that we are allowing who is killing our people to promote the products that they're killing our people with, which is the same thing of the tobacco industry. And we ban that, and that had a very, very practical consequence, which again, I think it's common sense. I think it's just like leading our consumption behaviors on towards something that is better for us. So again, I just want to say thank you for the work you're doing and for this initiative, but let's take some pride on what we're doing. Like, I really want to underline that it's not easy to win such a fight, and still we may, like, it's been possible in many cities. That means that if we organize, if we fight, if we communicate to the citizens, because then they do see, like, they don't have any benefit from these players to sponsor harmful products, no benefits. They only have negative impacts, because again, this doesn't mean that tomorrow they cannot eat their home. This means only that this is not the normalized and most pushed way to do it from a public sphere. So let's take some pride on what's been achieved. That should lead us to make it a fight in many more places in order to really stop normalizing this. If it could happen once, it can happen many, many times, because there's no difference. Like, the cities where this has happened are not any different from any other city and any other context. That means that we can actually win this fight. So thank you for the initiative. Thank you for the work. And as you know, I already said this, I'm extremely excited and open for collaborating on these topics, and also to create networks of our people that are committed on local, regional, national, and European level to push for these initiatives. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Benedetta. It's a really great speech, and really, really happy that you offered to host those networks, because that's really what we need. Thank you all so much for joining in your lunch hours. Amazing. I will send all of you the slides and the handout and the video of Benedetta, because I feel like everyone should see this, if it's okay with you. And thanks again, Benedetta, for joining, because it's really amazing to have someone from a European level also being so aware of what happens at local level, and that you want to give attention to this. Thank you so much. So I will stop the recording, and I will also close this meeting, and happy afternoon, everyone.